Hey everybody, this is Jessica Lynn from ArtistryinCards. I am also the owner of Jessica Lynn Original Studios. It is a rubber stamp company where I draw all the art, and I love being able to create cards and share all of this fun with you guys. So again, right away, I'm going to just go ahead and ask, before we get started, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'd love to have you join us. Again, it's just ArtistryinCards. Right here, if you're already on, just click on the little icon down below and hit subscribe. We'd love to have you. We just hit over 10,000 subscribers, and I would love to have you join us as well. And then if you are interested, be sure to go check out my rubber stamp store, which is jessicalynoriginal.com. I have a ton of digital stamps and some other things up available for you to take a look at and purchase. And I draw all the art that you see on there. This I actually started a little bit ago, and I realized I should probably record it so I can share it with you guys. We recently went and saw Lilo and Stitch. Great movie. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and get out my 50-cent stamp because now I feel like I am ready to go. So basically what I did was I took the waffle flower die cut it out, and then I hand drew with pencil first the images that you see on there, and then I traced over the lines I liked the best. And that's how you get the image that you see here. Now, when I'm going to go through and color this, I'm going to give you a couple of tips. So obviously print or draw on marker-friendly paper. I would encourage you to use heavy cardstocks like the Nila Solar White or Bristol because it holds the ink well. I can tell you personally, I have bought ink paper that is terrible and it runs straight through, makes a hot mess. The other thing to think about is to let your ink dry fully. So after I'm completely done, now when I drew this, I drew it with a black ink pen. So I had to wait for this image that I drew to completely dry. Because if I would have started erasing beforehand, it would have just smudged and made a hot mess. The other thing I like to do is to always start with the lightest shade, although right here I'm starting with Lilo's hair, super dark, right? So totally a contrast of what I just said. But always start with your lightest shade of marker and then build to the darker tones because it will help with building layers and texturing. For example, with this red, I'm using the brightest red, and you can see I've got 3 other markers that I'm going to use to kind of add some extra depth to her dress and some shadows because I always think that just looks so cool when you do that. So now with this image, I tried to build all the characters because whenever I build, I'll just say it, I love this waffle flower die cut. It is my absolute favorite. I'm at almost a year now that I've been using it, and I still have probably 50 or more ideas for cards that I could make with this, with different characters, different series. So I don't think this one's gonna go away for me for quite a while, which is honestly the best part about card making. Like if you invest in something and you use it that much, then it's worth it, you know? The other thing I did, just so you know, is I actually bought a second version of this die cut because I was afraid that if it goes away, I won't be able to get it again. So for me, I've actually never done that before, and that's kind of a big thing. So the other thing on here, you can see as I'm just coloring them all in, I'm actually going to build up layers with his colors. And you can see I put this in fast forward, which is why I'm voicing over this, because otherwise, if I had the original audio that was on here, it would sound quite chipmunk-like. But again, building up colors to make this look the way I want it to is really the way to go. And I realized his mouth was not red, it was purple. So by coloring over that, look, it kind of still gave it that depth, which looks really cool. I'm really happy with that. Now, one of the things I love about creating this type of card, it reminds me so much of my mom. My mom had worked at the post office for a very long time, and she loved collecting like the first editions of stamps. And so for me, every time that I make one of these, I think that's why I love it so much, maybe. Plus, I really have I don't know, they look so cool. They look like they could be stamps that the post office could use. And so I always think that's kind of fun. Now, granted, I always like stamping it with the 50-cent stamp because, you know, I'm dreaming that that's how much they still cost, but still fun. Alright, so I'm going to give you some other facts while I'm just coloring away. So Stitch's name is actually Experiment 626, And so on June 26th, they often have Stitch Day, which is kind of fun. The movie was set in Hawaii, which that's why you can see I'm putting palm trees on there. And when I'm done, I'm actually going to put some like hash and some green in the background. What's fun about Stitch, and I feel like the live action did a pretty good job of showing it a little bit more, you know, that he was originally supposed to be evil, but obviously he didn't want to be. And another thing about Stitch that always makes me think about my mother is that she loved Elvis, and so does he. So every time I always see Elvis in there, it kind of just makes me smile and think of her. I just think it's so cute. I love this. I think it's so cute. I think it would actually make a really good postage stamp set. So what I'm going to do now, and again, I every single time, I'm sure Amy is sick of hearing it, but she is my Distress Oxide queen, and she encouraged me a long time ago to try it, and I said, of course I will try. And so now I love being able to use like the stencils with the Distress Oxides. And I'm going to use this one I found. It looks like, it almost looks like hash marks kind of. It's kind of cool looking. I'm not sure how to look when it actually gets completed, but I think it just needs like a green background because I just feel like everything with Lilo and Stitch is so green, and it's probably because of the whole Hawaii background and everything. The colors I'm going to use the Mold Lawn, and then I'm also going to mix it up with Shabby Shutters, which is what I'm starting with there. And then at the end, I like to put a little bit of the black suit in there just to sort of give it some dimension. So just like when I color. And then I think when I'm all done, I might see how white it looks, because sometimes I feel like things are like way too white with like the contrasting color. And I might go back in with like the light green and just sort of hit up the edges to I don't know. I don't want to make it so like, what's the right word? Background versus the images. I want it to feel like they kind of live in the same world, if that makes sense. So I think that'll look really good. Doing it the way I do it here, it always is scary because I hand draw all the images, and it's not like I have another version of them to go back to. Like, this is one and done, right? Like, I mess it up and we're done. So this part always scares me because I want to try and get into the characters as close as possible, but anything that's white, I don't want to hit with the color because then it'll mess it up and just make it look weird. So hopefully we'll see how this looks. All right, and I think we're going to come back in. I have a smaller little brush. Just got to grab that. There we go. And then I'm going to go ahead and put a little black in the background because I think that will just add just a little bit of depth to it. Otherwise, it's going to be just way too bright around those characters. So let's just pat that off. And we're just going to lightly sort of... Every time I use the black, I feel like I'm using shoe polish, and it just makes me laugh. All right, we're going to try and get in there right around Stitch. There we go. That should look pretty good. And the other thing I still have to do when I'm done is I have to go ahead and put the 50 cent for the stamp. So I want to make sure I don't make it too dark because then you won't see that either. All right, this looks pretty good. All right, so as we go ahead and we just kind of move that stuff away. Oh my gosh, that looks so cute. But you can see what I'm saying about it's a little too white and they don't feel like they're all together. So I'm just going to quickly toss a little green in there. Just do that real quick. There we go. Just enough to see how they all sort of feel like they're now in that same world, but there's still a texture and a pattern. I like that a lot. I think that's going to really... Oop, I realized I didn't do any under her arms, so there we go. All right, let's take a look. Oh my gosh, look at how cute that is. Oh my god, I love this. This is so fun. I love these. I'm just gonna say it. I absolutely love the postage stamps. All right, let's go ahead and get some 50 cent on those stamps. This is the part that's always fun to me, to try to visualize where, like if it was the post office, where would they put those? And so I always try to see if I can find space where it looks like it might actually be there. See now, look, oh, those look so cute. Like, I would literally put those on a package and mail it. Lilo's creepy little doll, though, kind of freaks me out a little bit, but that's okay. She kind of reminds me, almost like, if you look at her, it looks like if you were to take Stitch and put him into the Nightmare Before Christmas world. I sort of feel like that's what he looks like to me. Oh my gosh, this is so cute. All right, let me go ahead and grab some cardstock and let's get this all set. So I have black paper that I like to put behind the stamps because I just feel like it looks like it's like when you used to buy sets of stamps, they were always in a series. And so I feel like when you put the background of just solid black, I always feel like it makes it look like it's presented like it's on a formal stage or something. So I'm going to go ahead and glue this up, put the black on there, and then I'm just going to cut that out real quick. All right, now that that is all set, I'm just going to trim this up a little bit, make sure it's nice and solid and square. And then what I'm going to do is on the back, I always encourage you, make sure you sign the back of your cards. On my website, which is just jessicalynoriginal.com, I do make custom self-inking stamps that I can make with your signature, or if you wanted me to write something and then, or make a sample of something that you'd like handcrafted by, I would love to make a back of your card stamp, so definitely go check out my website. And what I love is when I sign it with that, it's consistency for me. It always looks the same. And then when I record videos with these cards, I always put the date on the back, just so that when I look back, I know when I did this. So I'm gonna go ahead and just put this on. We're gonna glue up these little faux postage stamps. Almost done. There we go. All right. And then we're just gonna simply center this. And that's really all there is to it. Now, you might say, well, there's not a lot of layers and whatever. For me, the complexity comes in my cards of this version is all of the art that I draw, because I hand draw it. All right, when I got to this point, I realized that I forgot to color in Ohana. So we're gonna go ahead and do that really quick. And then I'm just gonna touch up a couple of the characters because I felt like they just needed a little bit more shadowing. Not a ton, just a little. And I'm just gonna say one more time, if you really enjoy what I'm doing, I really appreciate it if you would go ahead and subscribe to my channel. Costs nothing. And then go ahead and watch my videos, like them, comment. I'll definitely watch for any comments that you might add. I would love to start that conversation. So definitely go and do that. And then go and take a look at my store. It's jessicalynoriginal.com. I draw all the art that you're going to see there. There's going to be photopolymer, rubber stamps. There's going to be digital stamps and so much more. So please go ahead and take a look at that. I've also got a whole series of stickers that are kind of fun. So if you are interested in that, please go and take a look as well. All right, let's take a look. Oh, I love it. I think it looks so cool. I love the background. It's a little different. I originally thought about doing palm trees or trees, and I'm glad I went with what I did. So that looks pretty awesome. I'm really happy with that. That turned out 150,000% better than I thought it would. Well, again, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate each and every one of you. I might list some of my cards that are one-offs on my website, maybe. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if there's an interest for that, but I'll think about it. But I just want to say thank you so much for visiting my YouTube channel, which is ArtistryinCards. I appreciate you. I'll put a couple more videos for you to take a look at. And if you're looking for anything custom or have a question, by all means, toss me a message. I would love to hear from you. Take care, everybody.